Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting. Today I'm going to be comparing gold bullion versus placer gold, and more specifically placer gold found in Paydirt, to see if buying gold bullion really is a better deal than buying gold Paydirt. I've wanted to do this video for a long time because one of the comments I've gotten a lot over the years is from people who have never bought or panned out Paydirt, leaving comments on my reviews where I got a low ROI saying things like, if you want a good ROI, just buy bullion. Which is kind of true when I review a bad bag of Paydirt. But what about when I review a really good bag of Paydirt? This is the same as if I just went around commenting on videos where people bought fake bullion saying, if you want real gold, just buy gold Paydirt. Because it's easy to backseat drive on a bad experience, but does it really mean the other option is a better option? Which brings me to today's video. I've always wondered if you are a stacker or you hoard gold, is it better just to buy gold bullion or can you get a better deal buying gold Paydirt? And today I'm going to try and answer that question. And to do that, I needed some gold. So in September of this year, I bought a 1 ounce gold bar from AppMex.com. And on the same day, I had a secret shopper buy a 1 ounce bag of Paydirt from MammothGoldNuggets.com. And you can watch the video where I pan that out up here and see how much gold I recovered. Then on November 4th, I sold both the bullion and the placer gold so I could pay off my credit cards I use and make this video. Now let's open up a spreadsheet so we can compare which one gave me the highest profit and see which one is really a better deal. And here we go. As you can see, for the AppMex, I bought a 1 ounce bar and it weighed 31.1035 grams. Its cost was $2,474.09. They didn't charge for shipping. AppMex does charge $89.99 over spot. That's what their fee is. It does get higher if you don't use a wire transfer. It can be over double if you want to pay through PayPal or a credit card. So if you are going to buy bullion, use wire transfer. The gold spot on the day that it was purchased was $2,384.10, meaning that AppMex bullion bar was worth $2,384.10. Whereas with the Mammoth Gold Nugget, I bought a 1 ounce bag of Paydirt. Its cost was $2,021. I recovered 32.045 grams, so I found more than the 1 ounce guaranteed. Gold spot was the exact same as the bullion, was $2,384.10. But my gold that I found, the placer gold, was worth $2,456.27. But those are numbers that's only on paper, so let's get to where I sold it. Now, on the day of sale, gold spot was $2,760.01, meaning the bullion was worth $2,760.01, while the 1 ounce of placer was actually worth $2,843.56. $832.56. On paper, that's what my profit was. While with the bullion, my profit was only $285.92. But again, on paper, what happens when you actually sell it? And I did sell it like I told you on November 4th. Here are the numbers. I sold the bullion for $2,704.81. At 98%, I got 98% of what its value was, which is a profit of $230.72. Whereas with the placer gold, I only got an 83% buy for $2,360, but I still made $339 profit. So to me, buying short term, if you know you're going to be making a profit, because I knew these numbers before I even purchased them. I knew what I would get on return and I knew what I was buying. I knew the price, so I knew I was going to be making this much profit. I had to hope gold went up and it didn't go down. But what happens if gold goes really, really high? What happens if gold goes up to $5,000 per ounce? And in this case, as you can see, my profit for the bullion would have been $2,425.91. Whereas for placer gold, it'd only be $2,254.62. Because again, buyers are only paying on average 83%. So long term, with gold prices going up, bullion is obviously a better deal. But what about if gold goes down? Because gold does go down. And if gold went down, I would have ended up losing. If gold went down to $1,500 per ounce, I'd end up losing $1,004.09 on the bullion. But I would have only lost $738 on the placer gold. Again, this makes placer gold a better deal, short term or with losses. And now let's open up a different spreadsheet so I can show you just who is the winner, who is the loser, things like that. And there we go. And as I stated, short term, Paydirt is a better deal. You can get a higher profit just like I did. I made more money selling the placer gold than I did with the bullion. Even though I only made 83% of my money back. I only got paid 83% and I still made more money. So short term, Paydirt is better. However, long term, the obvious winner with gold going up is with bullion. You're getting 98% return, you're better off with bullion. And as I also stated with gold value, if it dropped, you're better with placer gold because again, you can already see your profit. You know you're going to make profit just like me. If gold would have dropped, I would have just lost less money. For availability, this one is definitely going to go to bullion. There are a lot of bullion sellers online and they all pretty much have a set fee over spot price, just like APMEX does. And they're all pretty much close to what APMEX charges at $89.99. There's a few that are a little bit higher than that, but they're all pretty close to each other. Whereas with Paydirt, there's really only two sellers, Mammoth Gold Nugget and Gold Nugget Sales, that offer Paydirt in over 100% ROIs, where you're guaranteed to find more gold than you pay for. So availability is definitely going to go to bullion. Now for ease of liquidity, if you had to sell your gold really quickly, I would say right now, currently, it's a tie. There are a lot of online bullion buyers and they will reply within 48 hours of a quote and you can sell to them. And most of them will be right around 98%. There are also a lot of placer gold buyers right now and they will pay you somewhere around 75% all the way up to 85%. And I did get a quote for 85%, but I had never sold to that buyer before and I just didn't trust sending that much gold to somebody. If I would have sold 5 or 10 grams, I would have done it, but I had never sold to them before. At 83%, I knew the person, I trusted them, so I sent them the gold. But you can get up to 85%, and I've actually in the past had offers of up to 90%, but it was for a smaller amount, and they weren't buying at this time. Now, they also have places like pawn shops and jewelry stores, but I wouldn't suggest selling bullion or placer gold to either one because you'll only get about a 50 to 60%. And there's also refineries. And I know there's a few big YouTube channels out there that always talk about selling placer gold to refineries, but I would never sell to a refinery. Even if I had bullion, I wouldn't sell to a refinery. Refineries like Midwest refineries only pay 95%. Even for bullion, they pay 95% for bullion when you could get 98% selling it back to a bullion dealer. Whereas for placer gold, they're really only going to pay you about 72 to maybe 78%. That's it. They're not going to pay very much. So there's no real reason to sell to them when they have better options out there like actual bullion dealers or placer gold buyers. So there are a lot of options for both. Some of them will pay a lot less, but the ones like I told you, selling it back to the bullion dealers or to placer gold buyers are the best one. So they're both getting a tie because right now you could sell either one pretty easily. Now for longevity, I'm going to give the win to this one for bullion because bullion's been around forever and bullion will be around forever while Paydirt hasn't been around forever. You've been able to buy it for the last 15 years or so and I don't know if it will be around in 15 years from now. I hope it is, but you just never know. Bullion though will be, so it's going to get the win. And now safe to buy, and by that I mean is what are your chances of getting ripped off? And unfortunately, I think these are both a tie. They both do have some bad qualities about them. There's a lot of fake bullion out there, and you can see it on Temu, eBay, everywhere, Facebook Marketplace. There is a lot of fake bullion. As with Paydirt, there's not a lot of fake Paydirt, meaning that there's no one putting fake gold in Paydirt, but there's a lot of bad sellers. Sellers who will guarantee you the world, except for the specific amount of gold you're going to be getting in that bag of Paydirt. So instead of telling you you're getting 1 gram, 10 grams, 1 ounce of gold, they'll tell you you're getting nuggets, pickers, all kinds of things without actually giving you a monetary value or a weight to the gold. So they have a lot of bad Paydirt sellers out there. They have a lot of bad bullion sellers out there. There are some great ones that are very safe to buy from, but unfortunately, they both do have some bad sellers out there and you can get ripped off. And lastly, fun factor. And this one is obviously going to go to Paydirt because Paydirt is fun. It's fun to pan it out and bullion just isn't. Buying bullion is fun when you get it in and you look at it, then you put it in your safe and it's gone. It's just not as much fun. And as you can see, they both got 5 wins and they both have their good points. They both have their bad points. So which one is better? I think either choice is a good one as long as you buy from a reputable seller and use a calculator to get the best deal possible. Both gold bullion and gold paydirt have their pluses and minuses as I showed you, so it's really going to come down to what your goal is. If you are just looking for something for a future zombie apocalypse and not worried about having fun, then bullion would probably be a better buy. However, if you're looking to have some fun panning out some gold like an old timer during the gold rush, and will sell what you find within a few years, then gold paydirt might be for you, and you can check out my website at millerprospecting.com for my top 10 recommended sellers. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Happy panning, and if you're not already a subscriber, think about hitting that subscribe button below.